Now it's official, Enugu Air would be launching inaugural commercial flights on Monday. The airline landed for the first time in Akanu Ibiam International Airport on Friday, March 28th, 2025. Afia TV recalls, and just over 3 months later, it is set for takeoff. Now, there have been many questions about preparedness, and today we're going to bring you the answers. Joining us now is Dr. Obi Ozor, the Honorable Commissioner for Transportation in Enugu State. Dr. Ozor, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Welcome. So I can see that you are, well, very ready this morning. I mean, you look like you're all, shall I say, energetic, because Monday it's going to be a big one. We're wondering how it's going to be. Is the plane going to take off from Akanu Ibiam Airport? Is it going to arrive in Akanu Ibiam Airport? We're wondering what the modalities will look like. But first and foremost, the big question has been, is Enugu Air ready for takeoff?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's an honor to be here. Yes, Enugu Air is ready for takeoff. And I believe this is the fastest anybody in this country has been able to set up an airline. We started this journey just about December of 2024, and just about 7 months in, we are ready to take off. Generally, this takes almost 2 to 3 years. That's the norm. But thanks to the leadership of His Excellency Barrister Pitamba, who is coming from private sector and knows how to push and set up businesses. And then we've enjoyed the support of from the presidency to the Ministry of Aviation, the FAN, the NCAA. Everybody has been in support because we need to have that type of airline that have the ability to scale and solve the problem. So we're ready to take off on commercial operation on Monday, the 7th by noon. The ceremony is at International Apron of Akanu Ibiam International Airport.
Mm-hmm. Okay, people are asking one critical question. How can people buy tickets? The websites, how can they book the flights?
Yes, so people will start buying commercial ticket from tomorrow. So today the website will go live. Recall that aviation is highly regulated. So we've submitted a website and a booking portal for approval, and we're hoping that it goes live sometime today or midnight. And tomorrow, people can buy flight ticket for the Lagos to Enugu on Monday morning, a flight from Lagos to Enugu on Monday morning, and then an afternoon flight from Enugu to Lagos and Enugu to Abuja.
That's quite interesting.
Okay, let's talk about the routes. It's just Enugu and Lagos at this point, and what are plans to expand regional or maybe internationally?
Yeah, the routes are, first of all, what we call the Golden Triangle, generally, which is from point A to Lagos and Abuja, right? And then there is also the other additional routes. So we're starting off with the Enugu to Lagos, Enugu to Abuja, Lagos to Port Harcourt, Abuja to Port Harcourt, Lagos to Owerri, Lagos to Abuja to Owerri, and Lagos to Kano for the start. And gradually, as our fleet grows by Q4 of this year, we'll further actually put more machines on those lanes and also expand to other routes within the nation. And also we'll be starting the inaugural for the international flight.
People are concerned about safety. I mean, it's the first airline Enugu is launching. People are wondering, would it be safe? Some of them are concerned about being on the first flight, and we have to face reality. That is the word on the street. How can you convince them that they should in fact try this inaugural flight?
In fact, I don't even think we'll have enough space for the people that already has been pre-booking offline for the inaugural flight. I don't even think I can be accommodated there. I wish I can be in Lagos.
So you're not sure of your seats then?
In Enugu, of course, there is a lot of people, and even the leadership of the different regulators that are coming from Lagos to Enugu for the launch, they are already going to be there. Even the financial institution, we won't even have space. And recall that aviation, because of its peculiar nature, is highly regulated. I don't know if you've seen that most of our machines were doing demo flights since last week, Friday. Most of that demo flights will be completed. Each of these machines had to do multiple hours with the inspectors, NCAA inspectors in them, and you're just operating, but you land at the airport and take off empty, just burning fuel. And in those things, they are checking, and it's part of regulation before you can carry passengers. So today, we'll be completing our demo flights. Yeah.
How was Enugu able to do that so fast? People take years to accomplish this, some never do. How was Enugu able to do that so quickly?
As I mentioned, is leadership and having people who have experience in businesses, in launching businesses, right? So this airline is not really a political stuff. It's a company. It's a company. In fact, for me, on Monday, basically marks the starting of my headache, and not even the end of it. Because you now have to make sure that the airline is safe and reliable. And of course, in the beginning, these things are, especially reliability, is a problem, because even at the airports, at the airport terminals in Nigeria, things are not fast, generally, right? How do you ensure that your airline is a different maker, right? And that's why you call it fly differently, right? So that's part of the headache, is a company. It's not really a political
Can you shed more light on the company, right? Because we're trying to understand how this airline is going to be managed. Is government, private sector, or public-private partnership? So can you just elaborate on that? And also the fares. Let's talk about the pricing. Is it going to be competitive, or is it going to be regulated? I don't know. Just these two questions.
No, it's a business. It's a business. It's not going to be, there's no interference, as the governor has promised. That there is no government interference. So we partner with XCJET. So XCJET is our partner, and we'll be running the airline. But of course, the airline is owned fully by Enugu State government. And our job is to promote, support, and make sure they are following the overarching vision of the government, the administration. And the pricing will be competitive. Of course, in business, when you're starting up, you normally are not the most prized. You have to break into the market. And then after you break in, if you have done well, you should be able to have the leverage to set your own price. And that is not different from what we'll be saying. However, recall, as the governor has mentioned, that the reason for launching airline is not just to generate profit, but is more to be able to open up this region, to turn Enugu into the hub, transportation and aviation hub across Africa. It's not really just Nigeria, it's across Africa.
Does Enugu Air have a stand yet at the airports? People are wondering if there's already a stand, like you have the Air Peace and you have Ibiam Air. Does Enugu Air have its own stand?
Yes, I believe that for the past 1 week, if you have even gone to even Akanu Ibiam, you will see where they formerly had the Dana. You see the Enugu Air counters, and you also have it in Owerri, and in Abuja, Lagos, and other places.
So Enugu Air has unseated Dana stand?
No. We don't have that type of power. It's wherever a fan shows you after you've complied with all their requirements.
So then where is Dana stand now?
I think that Dana stopped flying to Enugu for some time now.
All right.
And I think their lease has also expired. Maybe that's why we were able to get that.
Okay, so it wasn't unseating then. All right.
So still looking at the fares, the pricing, right? So can you maybe outline probably what we could be expecting, maybe going from Enugu to Lagos, Enugu to Abuja back to Lagos, that route, right? Can you outline, maybe, are we looking at something like $80,000 or thereabouts?
80,000 bucks. I think that the young Shagru charges similar to go by road.
I'm just saying about it. Yeah.
Yes, but as mentioned, the pricing will be competitive, but also because it's more of access, making Enugu accessible to people. The pricing won't be the focus, but I noticed that the average ticket price, both for on-time and late purchases, right, for Enugu routes, is almost 155,000 naira. So, of course, the benefit of having a state-promoted airline is that the state can look beyond just the core bottom line. You can look at how this helps unlock hospitality. So with that case, Enugu will probably most times be priced lower.
All right. So we take it that the slogan of Enugu Air is fly differently.
Yeah.
That is the slogan, okay? Fly differently, simply put. Now, some people are concerned about the newness of the airline. Some are saying, I understand that the airline being packed there at the tarmac for so long, of course, has gathered some dust. Rain has fallen on it. They're seeing, there have been better pictures of the airline, and we took those better pictures earlier in March. But over time, we're seeing the build-up from the, packed airline, and those are the pictures that have been circulating. So what do you have to say to those people that are concerned that Enugu Air is or maybe you can clarify us on how old it is yet again, and what you have to say to those that believe that the airline should be brand new?
I don't really understand what those people are implying. Remember, aircrafts are not vehicles. Even for certain airlines that have even placed order for some machines, those things can take 6 years before you actually get all of them. I know of an airline that ordered for 10 machines from Airbus. I think it's only 2 that have arrived in 2 years, right? So it takes time. So the aircrafts are all fine. Just like you bought a brand new vehicle, you're not yet ready to surprise somebody with it, and then you pack it. Of course, when you're about to start to gift it, you wash it and you take off. Yeah, so there's no issue.
All right. So what's the exact age of the airline?
So the aircraft? The aircraft are very sound. Aircraft generally are 35 years.
Right.
That's their first useful life, and then you can overhaul it.
Right.
So those aircraft are less than 10 years old.
All right.
So can you share details of the maintenance contracts too? So because apparently these are things to instill confidence in the populace.
Yes, the state and the operator is partnering directly with the aircraft manufacturer, Embraers. And Embraers are the best machines for these hot and dusty climates, yes. So, and of course, that partnership is way much reliable, though it can be a little bit expensive, but that guarantees that you always have the spares, you follow their maintenance timelines. Yes.
All right, we're going to quick breather now. When we return, we're talking about the modalities of launch day. People are still asking questions as to what they should expect when they all trickle down to Akanu Ibiam Airport to watch the inaugural flight of Enugu Air. But we're joined by Afia TV political and economic correspondent in just moments as he brings in a business perspective to this conversation. The Morning Show returns in seconds. Stay tuned. The Afia Morning Show, and we're still joined by the Honorable Commissioner for Transportation, Enugu State, Dr. Obi Ozor, and now Afia TV political and economic correspondent, Nnamdi Obanya, is here seated next to him. Well, good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
Nnamdi. Now, before we get into the business side of it, Dr. Obi Ozor, could you please walk us through the exact modalities, the program of events for Monday?
Yeah, the program starts by noon. The venue is the international apron of the Akanu Ibiam International Airport. There will be canopies and cultural displays and different dignitaries. Then we are hoping there will be an inaugural flight coming from Lagos. The last of the 3 aircrafts will take off from Lagos around 11 to land exactly around noon. And we hope there will be some interesting stuff. And then the event kicks off. The Honorable Minister of Aviation is a special guest of honor. And it should last for an hour and a half. And then we are hoping that there will also be an inaugural flight from Enugu, taking off from Enugu back to Lagos, and also hopefully take the Abuja people back to Abuja. And then, of course, that officially marks the commercial launch of the airline.
Nnamdi, go ahead.
I noticed that in the apron of the international wing, Festus Kiamu will be in town. Are there any plans to maybe strong arm him to open the international wing of the airport fully? Because with Enugu Air now being will I say, the home airline of this airport, there has to be, FAN and the ministry have to make some concessions to house the airline. Are there any plans to, get the minister to commit to doing something?
Yes, I think he will be helping us to strong arm him. But yes, they're already in support because Akanu Ibiam is the only international airport for this region that is actually heavily populated by entrepreneurs. So yes, and you know that there has been support from the federal government to actually operationalize that international airport through the concession process. And all we need from them is to see that concession through, because the federal government has moved that airport to the concurrent list across the nation. So that means that they are signaling that they generally don't want to be injecting the people's money into some of this infrastructure that are commercially viable, which private sector can get involved. So that is what we are hoping that they can do for us. If they can finish that concession this month or next month, that allows the private sector to potentially try to operationalize that airport before Christmas.
Before Christmas. That will be actually interesting because there will be a lot of heavy traffic. I think the next thing I want to ask is, Enugu is, what, 2 to 3 hours from every major city in the southeast. Are there any plans, to start thinking of international flights, particularly with respect to cargo? Because it's very strategic. The airport is strategically placed, not just because of, it's literally looking down Port Harcourt Road, down about Likio, Mogoja Road, straight. It's literally looking down the whole region.
West, south, yeah.
And around the airport is MNA, which is a whole lot of warehouses. So is there any plan, to maybe start thinking of maybe get one 777 cargo and start doing cargo at the airport?
Exactly. And that's what that hub strategy is all about, right? That's why it's going hand in hand with the concession and completion of the international airport and an airline, right? Because you can't even have those massive jumbo jets easily on the domestic wing, right? And if he's going to be going outside the country to pick up cargo or even mop up from other places, you kind of need that international wing to be fully operational. Yes, adding additional machines to the fleet will not be a challenge. And then thanks to the governor's effort and pushing the presidency, they should be able to concession and complete that international wing. And recall that Akanu Ibiam is actually has a free trade zone in our airport. It's actually the only airport in Nigeria, I believe, that have a free trade zone attached to it. So, and that's where the cargo terminal of the airport will be built once the concession is completed. So that allows merchants trading all over the world to be able to send their stuff directly to that place duty-free. And then also allows our people to be able to export different types of things to the rest of the world.
So what timeline are we looking at? Because apparently the leadership of Governor Peter Mbah always moves with timelines. I give you this to make sure that this is being achieved now. So what kind of timeline are we looking at?
So we're expecting the same type of speedy execution as we've seen in the launch of the airline, just within 6 months, getting the airline off the ground. We are hoping that the federal government supports this region by completing that concession in the next 2 months. Then that allows the concessionaires to at least do a 6 months to 1 year worth of completion of that international wings, because there is still some significant amount of work. That international wing is about 71% completed.
Right.
So there's still some work. So what you see there is the exteriors is completed, but a lot of the interior stuff and even the cargo side, the extension of the airport, there's a lot of work still left. Yes, and we believe that thanks to the capacity there, the ACC built it and they're still there. So once the private sector comes in, they might consider just working with them, so it makes it easier and faster. But of course, there is a lot of companies that have capacity who want to jump in and support the project.
That's right.
Okay, very short question. Do we have our tickets for the inaugural flights? That's I mean 3 of us here now.
Yes, I'm sure, because Afia TV is part of the media and communication partner to Enugu Air, so I'm sure that you will have your ticket and you can pay us so that we can have more money.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for that official announcement.
Yeah.
I mean, we all heard it loud and clear. Afia TV is the official media partner of Enugu Air. Wow, I mean, can I say that again?
That's a big one.
Yes.
Afia TV is the official media partner of Enugu Air.
Very apt.
So all the editors out there should
Yes,
write
touche.
it down. So I have 2 questions for you. Some people are feeling inspired by this significant step Enugu State has taken. What were the major challenges along the way? Secondly, the crew. Because beyond the exterior of the aircraft, like you talked about the international wing just being complete outside, but lots of work still needs to be done inside. How was the ground crew selected? Shall we say that? Or the flight crew selected? Who would the pilots be? Who would the hosts and hostesses be? Tell us about the actual persons within the aircraft.
Yes, so as part of regulation, there is steps in assessing all your licenses. So it's almost like 5 steps. So we did recruitment. All the pilots started work in first week of May. So Enugu Air has actually have pilots working. They have earned their 2nd month salaries, right? Immediately they were hired, but we ran a process for over 6 weeks to recruit the pilots. Then they went for training, both type rating and refresh and different things. In Amsterdam and other countries. They came back, then they started doing other local works. The crew, the flight attendants were interviewed. I think you saw some of the interview process went around in Enugu, Abuja, Lagos. Then we recruited, they went for their training. They finished. They were all part of the people doing the demo flights because you have to even have this entire crew before NCAA allows you to start your demo flights. So they've all been working behind the scene. So we also now have the ground crew who will be doing the ticketing, customer support, accounts, sales, marketing. So they've been interviewed, offer letters sent out, and they will now, of course, commence their operations on Monday. So that's how it was done. Then, of course, a lot of attention was paid to finding the right qualified people, but of course, making sure that we are also developing our people and giving them the opportunity to build that capacity to serve in aviation. Just like Ibiam Air, when they started, most of the people there were not from Akwa Ibom, right? But within 5 years, they built that capacity. So in the beginning, you're going to see some of our indigenes, but you're not going to see a lot because what matters is safety, reliability, and comfort of the passengers. It's not really about just having your people. But gradually, we keep building our capacity. And then the airline will also be growing and adding additional fleet. So as we build capacity, you're going to be seeing in subsequent recruitments that our people will be there.
All right.
I was going to ask that question. I think you just took the question for about because recently, maybe last month, there was a report from the National Aviation College complaining that Southeasterners don't come, that Southeasterners have by far the lowest attendance, whether it's cabin crew, ground operations, pilots, that the Southeast is far behind every other region in the country. And also, would there be any, I mean, if you're getting people from everywhere, so would Enugu Air be doing anything cultural? Like, would there be like, I mean, you enter Aeroflots, you speak English and Russian. Would Enugu Air be doing that? Like, would we be having maybe like bilingual announcements? Would there be any touch of Enugu? Will they be serving abacha? Hopefully not okwa.
Why you running you come up and
They
down?
must send up by if it's a morning flight.
You want to put your best foot forward. You can't separate
Nnamdi.
You can't separate.
You're
can't
stepping on
remove
toes.
Oba from Enugu State. It's not possible. See, once it's morning, that's a breakfast. Oba and pap.
abacha.
It's amazing
Abacha is fine, but actually
how the
afternoon.
conversation
That'd be a
is
lunch.
circling. But go ahead.
So that's what I was at. What now is the deliberate plan? Are we Is there does the airline plan to have maybe its own training facility, or is there going to be an agreement with NCAA or FAN to domicile maybe a more comprehensive training institute here in the region? What is the plan for capacity building? Is anyone going to be involved?
Yeah.
Or are we just hoping that the federal government sees things are happening and pushes more resources this way?
As you can see, the governor's approach is generally very aggressive and very business-minded. He doesn't leave things to chance, right? As he always say, nothing happens by accident. You have to create markets. So whether you see us launching an airline and forcing this place to become an aviation hub, that's also what you're going to see in terms of critical infrastructure like proper maintenance, repair, and overhaul. That's even what, for me, I'm very excited about, because we have a lot of universities. So that's a highly high-paying job, right? Having an MRO. Instead of aircraft going to South Africa and Morocco, when you come to Africa, or even Ethiopia for maintenance, if you can even take the West African market, West and Central Africa, to be maintaining in Enugu, that is a very high-paying job. Yes, the South is generally, whether it's even in military, we are always lagging behind. Part of it is because we wait for federal government and we are not proactive in making sure we take our destinies in our own hands. That's what you're seeing from this government, right? We are not waiting around. So now that we have an airline, you're going to see people, graduates, going to do training, right? Because they have a place to be employed, right? So that is what you're going to start seeing. And then those things are very, very world-class jobs that pay very well. In fact, I considered becoming a pilot after I saw what they earn. So, in fact, maybe the next time you might see me, you might now be hearing Captain Obi.
Exactly. So we have one final question before we let you go, because I'm sure you have a lot more to do. First of all, we're saying that we're going to see the website going live today. The Enugu Air website today. Is it today or Saturday today?
I think I mentioned Saturday.
Saturday.
So where's the website?
Huh?
What's the website?
We'll send it to you.
So we can publish that. Okay, it wouldn't be something like www.enuguair.net.com. Okay, let me not preempt it. So wait for it, okay? Sustainability. Beyond this administration, in the next 2 to 6 years, how would Enugu Air be sustained? Final question.
So, of course, Enugu Air is not about an administration. It's about the people. It's about the region. In fact, it goes beyond Enugu. It's also about the region. It's about the pride of the nation. And we've seen a success story in Ibiam Air. They have transitioned from an administration. They've changed a CEO after completing a tenure. They've reported profitability. They've grown fleet. So I think that we can even do better, because we are our region is very business minded. So if Ibiam Air could do this, even with the level of resources that state has, that is even from oil and gas, I believe that any administration in this state will champion that. And to what you mentioned, I didn't address it in terms of the culture and feel of Enugu. It's 042. It's 042. So we're going to make sure that people are enjoying our 042 vibes, whether it's in terms of the greeting, the swag. We have swag and other things. But we might not be serving some local delicacies on the local routes. Maybe when we start going international, right? Because you also want to serve things that are quick, so that immediately the aircraft lands within 20 minutes, just like what you have with Southwest Airline in the US, it has turned over. That's what gives it reliability.
Okay, now very briefly, because we're running out of time now, beyond, we're seeing this being quite successful already because it's happening on Monday, but other airlines that tried to be sustained or tried to make their mark, some of them did not work. We saw what happened to Imo Air, the notorious Nigeria Air. What was the key mistake that you have identified that they made and that you have tried to avert, that this government has tried to avert, to ensure that Enugu Air does not go down the same way?
Yes, the first thing is you have to do proper business plan. You have to do your feasibility studies. That's what we did. In fact, we started the feasibility study for Enugu Air November 18th, I believe, 2023, right? So that's when we started the feasibility. Was done. A lot of consultation, selection of listening to professionals. Let's say if most people might say Boeing, right? You have to look at what machine is suitable for this area, right? Can you maintain them, right? What is the route development plan? Instead of going to bring massive jumbo jets that you will not be able to have proper load factor, let's say 75% load factor, then you're burning through a ton of money. And if you don't have a ton of money, right, to sustain it, it will have issues, right? Then even selection of the fleet size for the start, right, so that you don't have a lot of pressure. Then partnering with the right operator that actually have experience and can take that airline to where it needs to be.
You talked about the operator, XCJET. Some people don't know XCJET. They ask questions like, how can we trust XCJET? Could you tell us why Enugu State government trusts XCJET this much? Final question.
So XCJET is I think they are the largest, I believe, the largest private jet operator in Nigeria. They have about 11 machines in their fleet. They also do commercial. So when you think of where you see that reliability, right, that safety and comfort is in private jets. So if you're able to do that, and I believe they're actually part of people flying the presidency since the aircraft has been in maintenance here. So when you're able to do that and fly that highest level, that's what we want to bring into regular commercial operations, right? Because it's already what they do. Imagine that's the service people expect. Yeah,
that's right. Okay, Nnamdi?
Yeah, I'm just saying, I think it actually makes sense because the private jets are Embraer Legacies and Gulfstreams, almost the same size as the Enugu Air. It's basically a hollowed out version of the Enugu Air that has been repurposed. So they'll probably be very used to, they'll know the in and outs of those planes.
After this conversation, I just want my own ticket. But thank you, Dr. Obi Ozor, for joining the show today. And we'll continue to watch and see. Afia TV will be there live on Monday, live streaming the entire inaugural operations. We can call it that. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The morning show returns in just moments as we delve into Onyafia Season 2. Onyafia is making a big return from the market. We'll find out more about it in just moments. Stay with us.